All right, our problem is 317 divided by 2. So we are going to use our blocks and our hangman method and see how those go together. Okay, so first we need to set up our problem. We have 317 is our dividend, and that goes on the inside of our hangman. And then our 2 is our divisor, which tells us how many groups we are putting them in, and that goes on the outside. All right, so looking at our problem, we need 300 blocks. So there's our 300s, and we have 1 10, and we have 7 ones. Okay, so for this, we need to put them into 2 groups. So we are going to start with our hundreds, and if you look here, it tells us that we have 300s, which we have right here. So if we put those into our 2 groups, you can see that we can put 1 in each group, and then we have 1 left over. Okay, so when we put 1 in each group, we're putting 100 per group, but we're using a total of 100, 200. So that's where we get these 2 numbers from. So we're using 200 of the blocks, and when we subtract, that tells me that I still have 117 blocks that I still need to put in its group. Okay, so we've used 200, and we still have these 117 blocks that we need to split into our group still. So we cannot do that with our 100 here. So we're going to trade this in for our 10s. So here's the 10 that we originally had, and there is 10 more 10s. Okay, so now we're looking at a total of, we have our 10, and then we have 1 more. So we have a total of 11 10s that we are looking at, and you can pull that number from right there. Okay, so we have 11 10s that we're looking at. So I need to ask myself, since we're going into 2 groups, 2 times what number will get me close to 11, but not greater than 11? Okay, I know that 2 times 5 gives me 10. So since that's below my 11, I know that I could put 5 in a group. So if I look at that, I could put my 5 in a group, and I could put my 5 in a group. Okay, so I used a total of 5 and 5. So I put 50 in a group, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I put 50 in each group. And if I have 50 here and 50 here, that's a total of 100 that I used. And when I subtract, I have 17 left, which is the 17 that are here that I still need to split up into my different groups. Okay, so from here we know that this 10 I cannot break into my 2 groups, so I need to trade that in for 10 ones. So when I do that, there's my 10 ones. So I had 10 to start, or I had 7 to start with, and then I just had 10 more. So I have my total of 17. Okay, so my 17, and I'm going into 2 groups. So I'm asking myself 2 times what number equals 17, or close to 17, but not bigger than 17. Okay, I know that 2 times 8 is 16. Ooh, my pen's going out on me. Is 16. Okay, so that tells me that I could put 8 in each group. So if I do that, there's 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so I put 8 in each group. So I have my 8 there, and I have 8 here and 8 here. So if I counted those up together, I used a total of 16. My pen's really going on me. I'm going to pick a different color, guys. So I had a total of 16 that I used. Okay, and then from here, I subtract, and I am left with my 1 that I did not use. Okay, so to get my final answer, just like I did on the last problem, I would need to take my hundreds, my 10s, and my 1s that I put into each group, which is over here, and I would need to add those. So if I did that, I'd have 158, okay? And I get that the same way by taking 158. And then my remainder is my 1 there, and I can get that from my bottom number here. So my answer to the problem 317 divided by 2 is 158, remainder 1.